So you're telling me that Russia is about ready to cut off LNG exports over to Europe, which will make them more reliant on the United States, which the United States is telling Starmer to open up the North Sea. And Starmer's government is already under siege from the Epstein revelations with Mandelson and them not responding to their attacks by Iran on Cyprus. Meanwhile, all the European leaders have to spend more on defense spending. The United States is cutting them off. They're having to pay for Ukraine, which Russia is keeping them pinned down with. A tertiary view, and all these other idiots are running around saying, yeah, taking out Iran hurts China and Russia. Well, they could have stopped this whole thing happening by just giving Iran a nuclear weapon, or flooding them in, or doing embargoes or whatever else. But having a stable Iran helps Russia bring down their resources through to the Gulf of Arabia and then out to the Indian Ocean. China can complete the Silk Road through there. Azerbaijan, Armenia already has their trade lane going to China that Trump helped broker. I think what this is actually going on here is Iran and Venezuela and all these other places where there was peace deals done, they were the actual proxies of the cabal. I mean, Trump's underwriting all of the shipping to go through the Strait of Hormuz, cutting out London. Venezuela, they like to say, was a foothold of China and Russia. But if that were true, why would China and Russia let Venezuela's infrastructure for pumping out that oil that they so desperately need fail? I think what actually has been going on here is these places, they're actually restricting goods going on the market, which keeps the cost of goods high. They are causing instability in the region, which keeps the fear up, which keep people into the trust me bro system of fiat money with no audits. Keep relying on the hegemon with the money printer. Keep them taking the United States dollar for their minerals. Keep the fear going. But blockchain is ending all of that. BRICS have the BRICS unit that's backing by gold. So that's their wild card to keep Trump in check. And they're allowing him to go and flip these governments, which ostensibly in the long run brings more resources on the market, which helps everybody. And as we're going into this energy-starved age of AI, that's why we're trying to get nuclear reactors done, all this other stuff. And now he's hitting Cuba, Ecuador, Nicaragua, Mexico, the cartels, which part of the transnational criminal syndicate of which the CIA has helped, Mossad has helped, GCHQ, all these intelligence agencies set up all of these things, of which, Bitcoin was helping them move funds and money. But see, the thing is now, with these laws getting passed, well, we all go on chain with KYC through stablecoin issuers and banks, cutting out all these dark flows of money and fiat. And remember, what else is transnational? Well, that's the corporations and the banks. And they hold the debt based on fraud. So we have the battle going on to get control of the Fed with the SCOTUS case to remove Cook and Powell so we can get control of the money printer, so that way we can buy up all the debt based on fraud in case there's a dump, which looks like is going to be the counterattack against all of the economy. And I think that would be the event, or at least a part of it, to get genius and clarity effective immediately. Now, everyone's concerned about energy, but yet all of these countries have strategic reserves. China's going to be just forced to buy elsewhere for the time being. Venezuela's back to producing. And remember, China has the control of rare earths. Trump did deals to set up a new supply chain for it with Southeast Asia and Australia. So we now have the stranglehold on oil, and they got the stranglehold on rare earths, so it's mutually assured destruction, therefore mutually assured cooperation. Get it? So Iran gets flipped, Europeans get turfed out, Venezuela's back to producing, we got control of every choke point of international trade. Meanwhile, the laws have a lot of pressure on them to get done. And once they do get done, we need an event to push Congress to make them effective immediately. Meanwhile, we have all these other vectors of leverage, threats of prosecution. And we already had Dan Crenshaw get the boot, as well as Jasmine Crockett. They're going to want a payday. This is a war against the deep state. It has nothing to do with trying to go after China or Russia. Because at the end of this, with these countries getting flipped, we have more resources out on the market, which is global stability. And with blockchain backing by real things with tokenization for units of account, that gets rid of the reign of the money printers, which is ostensibly how the cabal has kept the boot on everybody's neck, making debts and inflation endless, and the corruption. That's what we're looking at here.